AAA.com offers a 90-day money-back guarantee. That's right. If AAA911health.com haven't saved you money, guess what? They will pay you back in full your membership with no questions asked. Just tell them Armstrong Williams sent you to AAA911health.com.
For more information on the Armstrong Williams Show, please visit our new website at www.rightsidewire.com. There you can find his syndicated column archive, view live streams, and get your favorite conservative pundits' views on the current issues affecting the American people. From building wealth to foreign policy, stay connected with Armstrong Williams and his colleagues at the all-new www.rightsidewire.com.
Hi, this is Armstrong Williams. What does it mean to be conservative? Freedom of speech, freedom of free enterprise, freedom of assembly, less government, less taxes. As a matter of fact, a flat tax. Everyone should pay proportional tax. It doesn't matter whether you make $100 million or $10,000. Everyone should pay their 10%. Everyone should have something at stake in this American economy. I'm Armstrong Williams expressing what we mean by conservative traditional value.
Does your school, team, church, or charity need a new fundraiser? Do you need to work out of your home or part-time? Are you a small business that can use an additional revenue stream? Then you need Yellow Llama. Do you need affordable web services or tools to enhance your existing business? Are you a graphic artist who wants to create a revenue stream with your art but not get ripped off? Then go to www.yellowllama.com.
America must change course if we hope to survive and save the American dream for our children and grandchildren. How do we fix Social Security and Medicare? How do we cut government spending? How do we reform health care? How do we simplify the tax code? The Heritage Foundation has a bold plan that tackles these tough problems using common sense solutions that leave partisan politics on the sidelines. Find out how we can save the American dream at savingthedream.org, paid for by the Heritage Foundation.
Hi, this is Armstrong Williams with an opportunity to own a piece of paradise in Nassau, Bahamas. Spectacular land prices, 8,000 square feet, 20,000 square feet lot, affordable prices, hilltop properties with views of the magnificent sea. Just call 242-677-3120 or 3121 or go to info@rightsidewire.com and leave your information.
Where heads of state, sports, entertainment, and political celebrities meet. You're listening to Armstrong Williams.
And welcome back to the broadcast. You know, it's interesting, Tori. It doesn't seem as though that, and Tori Richards is our guest, that you've reached any conclusions of condemnation. So I'm just trying to understand, what is the larger point you're trying to convey to the public?
I'm just saying, I think, as a reporter, that I've never seen a salary like this for a government employee, $928,000 a year. And that's, by the way, that's 2010. I wasn't able to get his current salary for 2013, and I'm guessing it's well over $1 million. But this agency, first of all, no one knows about it, which I think doesn't give it transparency. The greatest antiseptic to any type of corruption is transparency. And they don't appear to have any oversight. They have a nonprofit over them that gets a huge chunk of cash from the DOE, and the DOE just writes them a check. So who's watching to where this money goes or what they're doing? I mean, we can't get any records. Watchdog.org has partnered with Judicial Watch because we're going to sue them over some documents. We want to know how these executives make the salary and what justifies $300,000 raise in 2 years. And by the way, that's not just him. The number 2 person in 1 year made over $100,000, for a raise. And then somebody else, it was $200,000 in 2 years. So anyway, I'm sorry.
Well, no, continue, Tori, please.
But it's not like they're building a stealth fighter plane out there. This is energy efficiency that's supposed to be in homes and offices. And so I don't see what the big secret is out there if they can invite scientists from around the world like they've told me, but the taxpayers can't know what they're paying for there.
Well, where is there any reporting on where any of these dollars are going? Because I see that they have partnerships with Brookhaven Laboratories out in Long Island. They're working with University of Georgia and Georgia Tech. They seem to be aligned. They're aligned with FIT, with University of Utah, with Texas A&M. They're aligned with many of the institutions of higher learning that have disproportionately elevated, energy initiatives. National Institute of Standards and Technology, Northwest National Laboratory, Pennsylvania State University. I mean, these are all schools and institutions that are making major inroads in energy technology. The lithium-ion battery, the nickel hydride battery, and some of these new hybrid ITN-based batteries are all coming out of these institutions. So, is there any line between them and these institutions beyond what's obviously presented on their website?
I don't know. Those like some of the documents that we have been trying to get. Also, they work with contractors and subcontractors. So we want to see all those contracts because I've received email from them saying they are just getting the shaft. And while the budget keeps going up and up for NREL and the DOE, they're not getting any breaks over there as far as these contractors, what they're getting paid. In fact, they're getting paid less. So a lot of this work is done by subcontractors.
So the core of because I've read your article, and I'm like Armstrong. I'm a little unclear as to what your real issue is. Is your issue that there are these elevated salaries and the absence of an explanation for them? Or I'm
correct,
really...
and a lack of transparency out there and what they really do, and is it justified with billions of dollars for what they've shown to us since the mid-'70s?
Let's go to the phone lines. Kurt, you have a comment for Tori. Go ahead.
Hey.
Yes, sir.
Is that Armstrong, or are you in for Armstrong today?
I'm in for Armstrong today.
Yeah, I'm finding a problem here. Not only does the transparency within every set government, but we have a problem here. Not only we're trying to get people effectively to understand, especially young people today who keep staring at their hands. I call my congressmen a lot. I call my senators a lot. I call my state senators. I call my representatives. I'm a blind individual, and I talk about a lot of different issues, whether they like it or not. But a lot of people in my community are scared, and they go, "Hey, Kurt, this is the issue." Well, I say for the last 25 years that I've been arguing issues that, "Hey, Kurt, tell them to get up off their butts and do something about it, because you know what? I'm not going to be a spokesperson anymore."
Okay,
but the thing is, I'm a spokesperson.
Kurt, so tell us what this has to do with the topic we're discussing now.
Yeah.
See, a lot of the things that you were saying with the transparencies of all the different issues, the transparencies is show me the money.
And Tori, and how do you respond to show me the money comment?
Well,
they put the dollar figures out there if you can weed through hundreds of pages of DOE contracts, but we don't know what they're doing with that money.
You look at the DOE Department contracts, even if you look at DOD Department of Contracts, okay? You talk about ridiculous contracts. I come from the world where the blind people used to be paid 50 cents an hour in GSA contracts on the federal level, state level, okay, pushing paper, pushing all the different things when, back in the day when they went environmental. And back in the day when they used to use
I'm not sure I'm following how this relates.
But I'm just saying, you look at the different GSA. You know what GSA federal is? The contracts are so ridiculously paid out.
Kurt, could the question on the table is related to the specific
all right, here's one for you. You're talking about the Department of Energy, DOE, right? You said DOE, right?
That's correct.
Right. Okay, you look at the General Services Association contracts that go into the Department of Energy. That's where you go through the government. You go through the GSA. Am I correct or am I not correct? You don't go right to the Department of Energy.
What's your point?
What do you mean, what is my point? My point is, they're ridiculous. It's who you know or who you blow. Don't tell me it's not, because the fact is, if I went out there and challenged the contract and tried to give them a lower bid, they ain't going to put me in there.
Okay.
They're multi-million-dollar contracts, and they're paid out to people. Most of the people, you look at the DOE and the DOD, and a lot of these people with these contracts don't even live here in our country.
Tori, I'm certain you're following what he's saying. I understand his larger point. Tori?
I'm not sure that I do. So,
okay. But anyhow, Kurt, it's always a pleasure hearing from you. Thank you for calling. Thank you, Kurt. Well, his larger point was, and it's very simple, Kurt wanted to talk about what he wanted to talk about.
Well, thanks for clarifying that,
That's the
Armstrong.
larger point. That much should have been obvious.
Yeah, that's Tori. I tell you, I share your concerns and sensitivity to what would openly seem to be inordinately large budgets. I share your concern with what appears to be a lack of oversight and control. Although I am reluctant to jump to a conclusion that something is afoul until I have a better, the collection of the facts in the aggregate. And I guess my concern here is that this, on the surface, seems to be a very large number. But if the chief executive of this organization is earning $1 million a year contract, and the byproduct of his decision making and his practices is creating, $1 billion, then we're looking at a 1% variable, actually less than 1% variable. So I'm not overly concerned then by relative percentage. But I guess what I'm really getting at is it's clear to me that we need far more data, specific data than the overreaching empirical data or anecdotal data that may be present.
correct. And this, by the way, NREL is a full-time job for me right now. I mean, I have several articles pending, and I can't go into what they are right now because they haven't appeared yet.
Right.
But like I said, we did partner with Judicial Watch. We are getting some of the documents they refused to give us because they're claiming they're not the government. I mean, that is a cause for concern when I hear that right off the bat from a government agency, right there. But I do know for a fact that most of their inventions, I mean, it's just not in the mainstream marketplace here.
Right.
And they've had 35 years. So I know you're saying, okay, what have they done? Maybe it's something good. I'm sure it is. I mean, some of these things sound wonderful to have things on satellites and cars that can go 100 miles per hour. But I think they could have done it cheaper with some of these inventors that I've heard from the Drudge Report. But the fact is they aren't even given the time of day. And it's the old adage where you spend $10 for a screw or a pair of pliers. So I want to know where their money goes and what they're doing with it, and it's been difficult at best to find out any of this, but it's just going to be an ongoing project for me, and there will be more stories on this.
Jacob, let's go back to the phone lines. Jacob, you're up next. Go ahead.
Yes. Good evening, Armstrong.
Good evening to you.
And guest. I just want to say that, this has nothing specifically to do with the Obama administration. I mean, this goes back decades. I mean, we all remember back in the 80s, the $10,000 toilets and things of that nature. This is, I don't know, it seems like her beef is with one person making a certain amount of money. But at the same time, if you're trying to get a brand new technology off the ground, you got to have the best minds involved in the process. And that's with any company, any corporation, any government agency. I don't want the government, hiring the second or third best astrophysicist when we're talking about sending somebody to Mars. I want them to get the best person out there to work on that because those are our people we're sending out there into space, for example. I wish that my governor in South Carolina, Miss Nikki Haley, had hired somebody to watch our Social Security
Tori,
numbers.
thank you for what you do. We look forward to having you back.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, callers. We'll be back.
Armstrong Williams.
For more information on the Armstrong-Williams Show, please visit our new website at www.rightsidewire.com. There you can find his syndicated column archive, view live streams, and get your favorite conservative pundits' views on the current issues affecting the American people. From building wealth to foreign policy, stay connected with Armstrong Williams and his colleagues at the all-new www.rightsidewire.com.
Life is full of unexpected changes. Everyone has potential to do wrong. And when they choose to do it, contact the Bucksell Group for your private investigation needs. TheBucksellGroup.com or by phone at 202-243-9746. Whether there's an instance of a cheating spouse, child custody, process service, or security, don't continue suspecting. Get closure so that you can move on with your life. Visit TheBucksellGroup.com now or call 202-243-9746. If you think it's happening, it probably is.
To travelers along the road of life who have fallen asleep at the wheel, to the many who woke up in time to avert disaster and get back on the righteous path. For the ones who crashed and survived and now adhere vigilantly to a virtuous and righteous path. Finally, Armstrong Williams' much-anticipated new book, Reawakening Virtues, gives his insights into these daily challenges and much more. Reawakening Virtues is available in bookstores and at Amazon.com.
Join the millions of Americans who pursue one of our country's finest traditions, from hunting to sport shooting. Since 1871, the NRA has grown as a service organization involved in all aspects of shooting sports and is a proud defender of the Bill of Rights. Join today to begin taking advantage of exclusive membership offers and discounts, including up to $25,000 in insurance coverage. Contact the NRA today. Call 1-800-672-3888 or visit nra.org.
Most Americans simply have never been taught the basics of money management, let alone how to secure their financial future. But there is hope. Financial Education and Literacy Advisors, also known as FELA, does what others don't. FELA teaches financial education. If you'd like more information about providing a financial wellness program for your employees, or a credit-bearing college course in personal finance, or other valuable programs, please visit myfela.com. That's myfela.com, or send an email to info@myfela.com.
Elder Chicks is an exciting part of the fastest growing segment of the population. Women in their 70s, 80s, and older who are mastering the art of a senior life. We're no longer unseen and unheard. We're providing role models for each other and the baby boomers who are fast approaching retirement. Join our virtual community. Hit www.elderchicks.com on your computer keyboard.
Where heads of state, sports, entertainment, and political celebrities meet. You're listening to Armstrong Williams.
And welcome back to the broadcast, and thank you so much for joining us. Milo Pickney, how's life in ATL?
Life in ATL is good, Armstrong. Doing some interesting things. Got a great new project about the launch here at Yo Llama. And
tell us about the launch.
Well, Yo Llama is about to launch the first Entrepreneur Design Challenge in partnership with the World Crafts Council, which is a division of UNESCO, and Bright Ring Foundation, which is a not-for-profit focused on assisting other not-for-profits and artists in attaining sustainable income from their work product. And it turns out today that we just learned that we're probably going to be doing some work with the Design Caribbean Expo and taking the project international. So it's a very exciting development for the Yo Llama team.
Rodney, you have a comment? Hello, Rodney.
Hey, Armstrong. I had a question or a comment with your other guest, but this is just as good. I just wanted to know, everybody know what pork is, barbecue pork. So that's basically what she was saying, that there's money going to somewhere that shouldn't be going, you know. But I wanted to ask your guest right now, what is his name? I apologize for that.
Milo.
Oh, okay. We're talking about entrepreneurship, and I'm trying to work on a thing. We're turning fuel out of old tires into fuel. Mm-hmm. But it seems like to me, every time somebody come up with something, it's being shot down. Either government agencies or private agencies. Is there a reason why this is so?
Well, I can't speak on the broad stroke. I actually do know a little something about reclaiming petrochemical from rubber and tires. One of the big resistance to the conversion of tires is the sulfur byproduct that is derived from it. And the other issue is, quite frankly, the amount of energy that is necessary to successfully convert tires or waste rubber into a fuel is obfuscates the benefit that is derived from it. Now, one of the things that you may want to look at is a shift from fuel to rocket propulsion, because one thing that waste tires have been used for is to produce solid rocket boosters for a broad spectrum of applications, but most recently Burt Rutan used it in the development of Spaceship One to create the first civilian launch into space. So there are some things that you can do with that technology, and from an entrepreneurial standpoint, the best thing I could say to you is don't quit, stay the course, and if you have confidence in what you're doing, don't expect anybody else to just.
Yeah. I mean, I read an article, or actually a program that's saying that Dubai is going to run out of fuel in X amount of years. And I was just, trying to get on the ground floor on that. But, with rocket fuel, it seemed like I would have to see who's my buyer, who's my market. And right now it seems like Korea is the only ones that's sending rockets anywhere. So,
actually, that's not true. Actually, if you do a little research, you'll find that there's a number of civilian projects right out in Mojave Desert here in the United States. And the two leading programs are both American initiatives. One is a joint venture with the founder of Virgin Records and Virgin Airlines. So,
the U.S. government know they sending rockets up in there?
Yeah, actually, Burt Rutan, who is a civilian engineer, designed a spaceship called Spaceship One that was the first civilian low-orbit spacecraft to safely take a man to space and back. And Sir Richard Branson from Virgin Atlantic is partnered with him with the second initiative. There's also Elon Musk, who is the founder of PayPal and also the Tesla automobile. So I think if you do a little research, you'll find that there's a lot of positive work going in that direction.
Okay, then. All right. Thank you very much, Armstrong.
And Rodney, thank you for listening. So, Milo, why Atlanta? I mean, a lot of people talk about the Fortune 500 companies in Atlanta. Is it continuing to grow and keep pace with the rest of the country in terms of corporately?
Yeah, Atlanta's an exciting city, Armstrong, or I should say a very exciting, very large, small town. Being from New York, and I'm probably going to get slapped down for this, but I still don't see Atlanta as being a real metropolitan city. It's pretty provincial, and it functions more like a small town. It just happens to be a small town that occupies a lot of real estate. But having said that, what Atlanta does have is one of the largest concentrations of black affluence, and it has a history of pushing the envelope and trying new things. So I think that Atlanta offers a lot of opportunity.
What do you think are the growth centers for small business owners in America today?
I think information and information management is probably the greatest opportunity for the small business owner and the small business developer, in that the barriers to entry are relatively low and the potential opportunity and reward of entry is very high, respective to the cost. So I'd say information is one of the strongest things. I also think low-tech engineering and technological development, we're going to see a real trend moving to adaptation of electric technologies, electric propulsion, and hybrid propulsion. We're already seeing it in the auto industry and in the marine industries. I think we're going to start seeing it in other areas in light equipment. So I think there's a great opportunity for small entrepreneurs, startup entrepreneurs, to make movements in that area.
What about the retail industry? Do you think that still has a life? Do you think retailers are suffering, or do you think it's back on the rise?
Well, I think retail, as you know, we have a retail division within the context of the Yellow Llama companies. What I will tell you is that our retail focus is more heavily weighted to the internet and mobile telephony than it is to brick and mortar. While it's true we have brick and mortar stores, we're really looking to increase our yield out of our brick and mortar investment, and our focus in doing so has only enabled us to attain any goals over the web.
It's interesting because we often say, you say it, Logan says it, I hear a lot of business owners says it, that this is a great time to create wealth. This was a wonderful market for those that have the vision, the imagination, the discipline, and a little capital. The market could become your footstool. But explain to our listeners exactly what are the opportunities that are out there and what skills are required to take advantage of it.
Well, Armstrong, I think you shed light on a very pertinent fact that this is an opportunity where in this environment that we are not likely to have probably for another generation, as we haven't had this opportunity for the generation that preceded us. The last time opportunity was this great was right post the Great Depression of 1929. Real estate costs are lower than they have been in the 52 years of my life. Labor costs are lower than they have been in the last 30 years of my professional career. Development and skilled labor is available at the lowest rates ever. So I think the entrepreneur who ventures out into the marketplace now to explore an opportunity or pursue a path that they've identified as potentially presenting an opportunity is infinitely more likely to realize that opportunity and the gains that go along with it. Within the context of Yellow Llama, we in the last 4 years have spun off from our original concept 3 derivative companies, all of which are seeing marked growth in this third year of operation. That's a byproduct of nothing more than this current economy and the opportunity that it presents. So yes, I think it's a very strong time for those who are willing to venture out and try things. Is there risk? Absolutely, no question about it. There's definite risk, but the reward is more than adequately justifies it.
To be an entrepreneur, what do you think is required in today? Is it about capital? Is it about contacts? Is it about idea? Is it about finding a venture capitalist for your idea? Is it about where you are? Is it about the fact that you have to consider that the government has overregulated us? Are there ways around that? What does it require for today's entrepreneur? Does it require more than the entrepreneurs of your generation, let's say maybe 10 years ago?
I think more than anything, it requires a commitment and confidence in self. Government, the American government has really never been the catalyst to entrepreneurial growth. In fact, more often than not, it's the barriers that government has put in place that has stimulated entrepreneurial growth, for mainly attributable to people trying to navigate around it. I think that I think the real catalyst today, and the most important thing that an entrepreneur or potential entrepreneur can look at today, is, does what I am pursuing make sense?
Hold that point. Does what I am pursuing make sense? We're talking about entrepreneurship, the marketplace, U.S. global marketplace. I'm Armstrong Williams. We'll be back.
Armstrong Williams returns in a moment.
Hi, this is Armstrong Williams. Just like the Affordable Care Act seeks to ensure people with public or private coverage can find high-quality health care, AAA911health.com offers consumers you with access to better information, quality care, and big-time savings on your health care. Yes, big time. AAA911health.com offers a 90-day money-back guarantee. That's right. If AAA911health.com haven't saved you money, guess what? They will pay you back in full your membership with no questions asked. Just tell them Armstrong Williams sent you to AAA911health.com.
For more information on the Armstrong Williams Show, please visit our new website at www.rightsidewire.com. There you can find his syndicated column archive, view live streams, and get your favorite conservative pundits' views on the current issues affecting the American people. From building wealth to foreign policy, stay connected with Armstrong Williams and his colleagues at the all-new www.rightsidewire.com.
Does your school, team, church, or charity need a new fundraiser? Do you need to work out of your home or part-time? Are you a small business that can use an additional revenue stream? Then you need Yellow Llama. Do you need affordable web services or tools to enhance your existing business? Are you a graphic artist who wants to create a revenue stream with your art but not get ripped off? Then go to www.yellowllama.com.
Anderson Brothers Bank, a family-owned and operated establishment that blends traditional personal service, local market awareness, and advanced technology to meet the financial needs of its customers. Visit abbank.com or call 843-464-6271 to see how they can assist you with your banking needs. Anderson Brothers Bank, celebrating 75 years of community banking, the way it should be. Stability right in your backyard since 1933.
America must change course if we hope to survive and save the American dream for our children and grandchildren. How do we fix Social Security and Medicare? How do we cut government spending? How do we reform health care? How do we simplify the tax code? The Heritage Foundation has a bold plan that tackles these tough problems using common sense solutions that leave partisan politics on the sidelines. Find out how we can save the American dream at savingthedream.org, paid for by the Heritage Foundation.
Join the millions of Americans who pursue one of our country's finest traditions, from hunting to sport shooting. Since 1871, the NRA has grown as a service organization involved in all aspects of shooting sports and is a proud defender of the Bill of Rights. Join today to begin taking advantage of exclusive membership offers and discounts, including up to $25,000 in insurance coverage. Contact the NRA today. Call 1-800-672-3888 or visit nra.org.
Where heads of state, sports, entertainment, and political celebrities meet. You're listening to Armstrong Williams.
You know, Milo, I was thinking about some of your answers, and I had this epiphany about how most people sleepwalk through their lives, somewhat hauled along by some middle-class inertia that tells them, and it's reinforced, that they have to go to college, they have to get a steady job, and then they've got to sort of hunker down long enough to establish what we have called these retirement benefits, because that's the American way. And I guess you would probably say that for most people this kind of thinking makes sense. And I do think you would agree that it's important to go to school and to keep retirement in mind. But this is the thing I really want you to respond to. Is going to really play into what you were saying as we were going out to break, that merely doing these things tends to make people risk adverse. And if someone is told all their life that you need to take certain steps to secure financial stability, makes people hesitant. In my opinion, it makes them hesitant to even learn new things, to even take risks. I mean, it makes them scared to buy several properties instead of one, and even though using any number of government loan options to buy a few wisely chosen properties is the safest investment, in my opinion, still that anyone can make, even in this challenging economic market. So the problem is that our middle class inertia focuses so much on basic foundation issues, getting a degree, house, retirement, that we are actually conditioned over time to expect the ordinary and to keep our horizons dim.
I think that's an astute assessment. I mean, I've been, as you know, involved in higher education. I don't subscribe to the idea that secondary education is a mandate for all. I think some people get a benefit from it, others get a lesser benefit. I will tell you that from my own experience, that the most successful entrepreneurs that I have known, many of whom never finished secondary education, post-secondary education, formally, but are some of the most educated and well-read and diversified people I know. And so I don't know that college is the end-all and be-all answer, but education is the end-all and be-all answer. I think that's probably the way I'd like to say it. Having said that, one of the things that I think that our traditional education, formal education has done, has conditioned many American away from entrepreneurialism and in the pursuit and perceived guarantee of a safe pathway to middle class success. So I'm not sure that it's a panacea, not by any stretch of the imagination.
Someone just posted something that's very interesting, and I don't have my glasses on, so I can't really. They're asking about Yellow Llama, and it's LLAMA.
That's correct.
Procaster. They're saying that. Let me get closer, Milo, because I cannot see. Many students who sought out sugar daddies online in a time of need. It's a dating site, seekingarrangement.com, which connects wealthy men with women looking for financial support. And it reports that female college students made up 44% of the site, and the total users in 2012, with tuition on the rise, that number will likely continue to climb. And while some may compare the practice to prostitution, or question the morality of trading money and gifts for affection, the people who use these sites contend that they are stepping stones to their future. Do you consider that entrepreneurship, Milo?
Something, Armstrong. I am not a Puritan. The prostitute that stands on the curb and sells his or herself and sexual favors for livelihood, no, they are not an entrepreneur. They are what I would describe as self-employed. The woman or man who builds a brothel and develops a delivery system that attracts an enhanced customer, that's an entrepreneur because they are deploying business concepts, disciplines, and practices to produce a scalable return. Now, am I condoning prostitution? In no way. But by default of one being involved in prostitution, provided it's legal, it too can be an entrepreneurial outlet. I'm not making a moral judgment.
Let me move on because we don't need.
Please.
That's easy. Here's a question I want to lead to. I don't like the term minority, but the economic progress, the financial wealth progress, the intergenerational wealth of Black Americans has really stalled our decline in the last 20 years. I mean, they have not narrowed the wage and employment gap during this period, even controlling for educational attainment. And more critically, Milo, which I find fascinating, is that the wealth gap between blacks and whites is now wider than ever. By some estimates, white Americans have over 20 times the wealth of the average American black. It doesn't make sense to me, though. And furthermore, what this does...
Oh, it makes total sense.
Okay.
It's the Spike Lee effect, 40 acres and a mule. It's a combination of entitlement thinking. It's the Willie Lynch letters of the 1700s and their divisive influence on the black community. It's all these variables, but the biggest thing is it's the perception that America owes somebody something. The only thing this country owes any citizen, whether they be minority or majority, is the free proposition that they have the opportunity to pursue their happiness. No one owes them their happiness, just the opportunity to pursue it. And those who elect to pursue it and who attain it, mazel tov, congratulations, good for you. And for those that don't, you cut your path, enjoy what life you have. We've got to stop playing to this. This isn't a race issue. It's not a cultural issue. This is a personal issue, and it seems to present itself more in our community than in others, much to, I think, our mutual dismay. But at the same token, I see other minority groups coming to this country and embracing the American dream and exploiting it to the benefit of themselves and their families.
But I know some people are not going to like this, but the wealthy are a true minority in the world, are often, Milo.
Truly, they are the minority.
Yes, and criticized and ridiculed for their success in spite of the fact that everyone, given the choice, would rather try it rich than continue being poor.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why? Because before you think, it's just, I just
it's easier.
Huh?
It's easier. It's easier to whine about my plight in life and how I didn't get the right deck of cards dealt to me, than to deal myself another hand.
But listen, is it really the result of hard work, Milo, not to squander a way of fortune like people who win the lottery? When provided with $1 million annual bonuses or multi-million-dollar inheritances, and it is harder to work than working 2 or more jobs in an attempt to bring yourself out of poverty. Plus, in my opinion, calling the rich the true minority both belittles the struggles of real minorities and places a group of people who are. Look, my point is, we have to change the images that have been drilled in us, because look, being wealthy. People who are wealthy are not bad people. In fact, they're the backbone for the economy, and especially for local charities where they are.
No, I would agree. I think it's a number of things, Armstrong. Thomas Sowell said something really brilliant recently. He said it's hard to imagine a more stupid or more dangerous way of making decisions than by putting those decisions in the hands of people who pay no price for being wrong.
Very good point. I'd never heard that before. And isn't that the truth?
That's where the rubber meets the road. And as long as our community continues to vote for politicians based upon, allegiance because they're Democrats or because they're black or Hispanic, when they vote to support entitlement programs, the quantitative consequences of these decisions impact on a generational level, and the damage done is almost insurmountable to overcome. So I tend not to subscribe to the dialogue of the plight of the poor against the wealthy and vice versa. It's the doers against those who elect not to do. And I use the term elect not to do because in this country the opportunity is there for anybody who wants to. I don't care if you have a third grade education and $20 in the bank. If you want to make $1 in America, you can get up off your behind, go out, walk any block or commercial block in America, and walk in the door and ask to sweep the floor, and somebody's going to let you sweep the floor and pay you a couple of pennies to do it.
So true, so true. Milo, how can someone get more information about you?
Well, one thing about Yellow Llama is everybody in our organization answers their phone. So if somebody wants to talk to us, they can pick up the phone and call. Our phone number is on every page on our website. They can explore Yellow Llama and the projects that Yellow Llama is doing. And more importantly, they can reach out and say, I want to be an entrepreneur. I am a creative person. I have ideas, and I just need somebody to give me a listening ear and some direction, and we're available to help them. Because the reality of it is the only way our communities are going to grow, and when I say our communities, I'm not talking black and Hispanic, I'm talking about American communities.
Milo, very good discussion today. Thank you for joining us. We want to thank our earlier guest, Tori Richards, Milo Pickney. Take care, everyone.
For more information on the Armstrong Williams Show, please